As you think about this now, you might begin to notice something. That feeling, stress, distraction, restlessness. What if that wasn't a problem? What if it was a sign, a signal, a doorway into something far more powerful? Because isn't it true? Stress only exists in the gap between where you are and where you think you should be. The frustration, the urgency. What if it's just an illusion, a trick of the mind? And as you start to wonder about that now, you may begin to realize what happens when you stop resisting the moment. What if this is exactly where you're supposed to be? And what if instead of pulling away, you dropped in deeper, right now, fully engaged, fully present, fully alive? Because every time you told yourself, I should be doing something else, you were creating an invisible cage around yourself. Every rule, every belief, every I have to, I can't, I shouldn't. Where did they even come from? Were they yours? Or did you just pick them up along the way, not realizing they were never meant to define you? And isn't it interesting how easily they dissolve when you see them for what they are? Because right now, in this moment, you can let them go. You can step outside of the cage you didn't even realize you were in. And as you do, you might begin to notice. The more you try to control everything, the more you overthink, the more you rush, the more you resist, the harder everything feels. But what happens when you let go? The more you relax into the moment, the more natural everything becomes. Your mind sharpens, your energy shifts, creativity flows. You don't have to force yourself to be engaged. You are engaged. You don't have to try to be present. You are present. Like slipping into warm water. Like stepping into a rhythm you didn't realize you already knew. Everything just clicks into place. And in this state, something fascinating happens. People, they don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel. And the stronger you hold your reality, the more fully you believe in yourself, your experience, your truth, the more others begin to align with it. Because energy is contagious. Enthusiasm is magnetic. Certainty is power. And as you step into this state, completely engaged, completely present, completely at ease, notice what happens. That feeling, that shift, that realization that you have already changed. And isn't it exciting to wonder how much further this will take you? As you hear these words, something begins to happen. That old habit, stress, resistance, distraction. What if it wasn't something to fight? What if it was simply a signal, an invitation? Because haven't you ever noticed, when you're fully immersed, fully engaged, fully present, stress disappears? And isn't it interesting how the simple act of shifting focus changes everything? Because stress doesn't come from work itself. It comes from resisting the moment, from telling yourself that you should be somewhere else, doing something else, being someone else. What if this moment right now was exactly where you were meant to be? And what if instead of resisting, you leaned in? Isn't it funny how the more you try to control yourself, the more restricted you feel? Every rule, every limit, every I can't or I shouldn't. Where did they come from? What if you never had to follow them? Because maybe, just maybe, those old beliefs weren't protecting you. Maybe they were keeping you small. Maybe they were keeping you disconnected. Not just from others, but from yourself. And what happens when you let go? When you stop trying to control and just allow yourself to be? Because isn't it true? When you relax into the moment, everything gets easier. Your mind sharpens, your energy shifts, ideas flow, connections deepen. You don't have to try to be engaged, you just are. You don't have to force yourself to be present, you become present. And as you allow that to sink in, something shifts inside. People don't remember your words, they remember your energy. And the stronger you hold your reality, the more powerful your influence becomes. Because when you know deeply, fully, unshakably, others begin to know it too. And isn't it fascinating how certainty spreads, how confidence is contagious, how the moment you stop seeking approval, the world begins to reflect your belief. And as you step fully into this now, completely engaged, completely present, completely in flow, notice what happens. That feeling, that power, that clarity. And isn't it exciting to realise how much is possible now?